Hey everyone, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Hawkcast. My name is Mr. Knutson and I'm the host. This podcast is looking to interview students, fellow faculty members, and community members here in the Horace, Fargo, West Fargo, Moorhead area. The plan is for the community members is to interview them about their career paths, their choices that they made along that way, what it took to get there, what skills they needed, how long, all of those different aspects of it to give our students a better understanding of what is needed to be done to pursue those careers. Same with colleagues to a degree, and also with my colleagues, I would like to discuss various topics. If they want to discuss a topic and go in depth, we can absolutely do that. And same with students. Students, I want to be able to be willing to and feel free to discuss topics on the episodes as well. Main thing I do ask is that you would come up with some type of summary so that I know that we actually have something we can talk about for a half hour to an hour before we sit down and record the episodes. At least I want the episodes to be somewhat humorous as well, so we will always start an episode out by answering some random questions with my guests to see just where those maybe go. I do like rabbit trails, as my students will tell you, so they will let you know that seems pretty normal when we go down some of those deeper roads that maybe we didn't think we would get down. On this first episode, I have Mr. Czeck. He is the 9th grade PE and health teacher and also he's the offensive coordinator for our 9th grade Horace football team. We get to interview him and ask him about what it's like to build a program here in Horace and what it's like to be a part of the community here as well. I do want to apologize for the audio quality of this first episode. My microphone it sounds pretty bad, I'm not going to lie. So just prepare yourself for that. We're still figuring out how to get these microphones to sound, and primarily my microphone to sound good. This is not my area of expertise by any means. So we're still working on it, and hopefully in the future episodes we'll get it more figured out and have cleaner audio. So with that, stay tuned and enjoy the episode.
Hello, everybody. This is the inaugural episode of the Hawkcast. We are going to be talking to Mr. Czeck today. He's a PE teacher for the 9th grade and health teacher as well. And most importantly, he coaches our football team, the Hawks. We're super excited to have him. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, like Mr. Knutson said, Addison Czeck. Most of you know me by Coach Czeck or Mr. Czeck. Happy to be a part of the Hawkcast. It's going to be a fun day today.
It's going to be a wild ride for sure. First time recording a podcast for me. It's going to be fun. We're going to start out with a couple of random questions though here. So I liked your question that you posted earlier, so we're going to answer that in a second. We're going to start with this one first. Would you rather lose the ability to taste or have the ability to taste, but 80% of what you taste has to be something that you despise?
That's a tough one. I know that losing the ability to taste these days is more common than you might think. I've had a couple friends recently lose the ability to taste, and it drove them nuts. I think one of them lost like 35 pounds in 2 months because you don't taste, you just don't want to eat. But do you want to eat something that doesn't taste good?
That's the problem.
It's
not even like it's like something that I just it's not great. It's like something I despise. Which when I have food that I despise, it's like I'm gagging. Like we're gonna throw up probably.
Do you get over that though? Like if you eat something you don't like enough, like do you just start to like it? I don't like tomatoes. I don't eat tomatoes. I think if I ate enough tomatoes or things that taste like tomatoes, I think I would just figure it out. So I'm going to go with the 80%
You're crazy, man.
Bad, 20% good. Because imagine those days. Think about those days where you do taste something that you like. Like, you're going to look forward to those days.
Good point.
If you are always eating something that doesn't taste like anything, then you're going to lose your ambition.
It's such a weird thing because I've never lost the ability to taste. Now, I know somebody who lost it, not because of COVID, but because he fell down a chimney when he was working on his house and he hit his head and he lost most of his sense of taste. So now he can just eat like super spicy stuff.
And that's the only thing he does
eat because it's the only thing that he can taste because it's so extreme.
Well, do you think it's because of the chimney itself, or do you think it's because that's what they say about coal miners? Like, you're working in the coal, and that's why they put a ton of pepper, because that's all they can taste. Hot sauce, spicy foods.
Maybe.
So
Maybe
it's a chimney effect.
It's a chimney effect. That's right. I think I have to just lose my ability.
All your ability.
Yeah, because something that I despise is I just can't. I don't think I can go through that. If I took one bite of something and I despised it, like, it's going to be a mental hurdle to eat the rest of that food.
Well, you already have. If you don't know this, Mr. Knudsen's a pretty picky eater.
I am a pretty picky eater.
So
for sure,
your 20% already is super narrow.
It is very small.
So
it's very small.
I can't imagine how narrow your palate could get. Are you sure that you don't live in this already? This 80-20?
To a degree, I might already, that's for sure.
I don't know if it would change your life at all.
It might not. Other than, you brought up the fact that the person who couldn't taste food, they kind of stopped eating, but they lost 35 pounds. I could be okay with losing 35 pounds.
Yeah, but you couldn't lose 35 pounds for long.
Not for a long time, no.
If you lost 35 pounds...
I'd be
in consecutive months.
I'd be in a good shape.
You would be a beanpole.
No, I'd be in good shape, dude.
I'd
be at a healthy weight. I'd be at 190.
Yeah, but what happens when that happens again?
Then that would be a problem.
And
that's really a problem. Then I'm back to like when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
That means I'm probably gonna die.
Yeah.
That's realistically what's gonna happen.
If you didn't eat, you're like half a year away from being dead.
Yeah, realistically. Yeah, probably. I gotta go. I gotta go with my ability. I'm gonna lose it.
It's nice knowing you.
I'm gonna hate. I'm just gonna eat to eat, and it's gonna stink. It's not gonna be fun.
Is that worse than not eating anything?
No.
Okay. Just make sure.
I still gotta eat the food, just to eat the food, but it's gonna taste. That's a big deal. It is. But that's where I'm gonna go.
How does it? Well, maybe this is getting too deep, and maybe we need to move on. But how does it affect your sense of smell? They say your sense of smell is a big part of taste.
Basically, smell is like, 70 to 80% of your taste, probably? Yep. Something like that. We should get a scientist in and tell us. Where's Mrs. Crane?
Crane? You're needed.
Probably go down the hall and find her. Yeah, that's also a big problem. Not being able to smell. What if I can't smell natural gas? Flip the light on. Dead.
Boom.
Whole house gone. That's a problem.
Can't smell the eggs.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem. It's we can never go too deep on this one.
Yeah, that's too far.
It's FYI, we can't. It's fine. Oh boy, this next question. I don't even know how to begin to answer it. I'm not even sure what to do with it. But when is a door not a door?
That's a good question, and I know when a door is not a door, because I came up with this riddle.
Okay.
So it's more of a riddle. Yeah. I developed it when I was traveling for a hockey tournament about 5 years ago. Uh-huh. And, it was a long trip, and we were talking about riddles, and I realized when a door is not a door.
Is it just like when you can't walk through it? That's what I would think.
No, because if a door is closed, it's still a door.
It's still technically a door.
I think that's like half of a door's job is being closed.
That's a good point. Yeah.
The other half is being open.
It's true. It's very true. When is a door? When it's halfway? No, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. Is it to do with hinges? That's my thought.
No.
So what's your riddle then?
You want me to give you the answer?
Oh, so I have to answer this question is what I'm trying to figure this question out.
I can like give you a few hops towards it.
Yeah, give me like the Avid tutorial version.
It's more of a word play than anything.
A word play.
So it's more of maybe like a word that you can describe a door that's open.
Door that's open. How to describe it.
So say you left your car door open.
Yes. Yep.
Is your car going to give you some sort of indication that it's left open?
Some kind of do, but mine won't specifically.
Well, I think that's about time to upgrade.
Yeah,
maybe that's a different podcast.
Yeah, maybe. I suppose if my keys are in it, then it beeps at me.
It beeps.
Yeah.
So that's an indication. What's another indication? Maybe a term.
Term?
Yeah, like a
just
another way to say
just want to let the audience know I'm really bad at riddles. Just obviously.
They're gonna pick up on that really quick.
Yep, they should, because I need to get better. Practice makes perfect. Mm-hmm. So more riddles, the better. Submit those riddles, friends.
Yeah.
Indication to the door. Is it like an exit light? No,
it's an adjective. It's a word.
It's a word. An adjective meaning word to something.
Yeah. I'll give you some synonyms. Okay. Slightly open. Half open. A jar. There it is.
Booyah.
When's a door, not a door?
When it's
a jar.
Nice. That's really clever. Actually.
Might be one of the top 3 smartest things I've ever come up with.
I think, that's you should trademark that. That's intellectual property.
Yeah. Everyone heard it here first, folks.
Yes.
Don't even think about using that.
I just need to improve my vocabulary, that's all.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Just got to read that Oxford every day.
Yeah. Daily words. Get it. All right, this is my question that I thought was kind of funny, and I have an answer to this one. But what is the difference between a tunnel and a pipe?
Difference between a tunnel and a pipe?
Yes.
You can hit someone with a pipe.
You can't hit someone with a tunnel. You can hit someone with a pipe, that's for sure.
There's a difference right there.
There is a difference.
Not sure if you're looking for it, but...
No, that's not the difference I'm looking for. But it still works, because you can't walk through a pipe.
No.
But you can walk through a tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Could be
a giant culvert. Still a tunnel to me.
Huge pipe.
Yep.
Does a pipe have to carry liquid?
Nope.
What's a pipe?
Something that I can't walk through.
Okay, that's what you're looking for? Right?
That's it.
Something you can't walk through.
So something I can't walk through. So pipes can never become tunnels, but some tunnels can become a pipe. So if I can no longer fit through it.
So I have another thing that's kind of like that. So when I always think about a mouse and a rat, a mouse is an inside rat, and a rat is an outside mouse. Once a rat goes outside, once a mouse goes outside, it's a rat.
It becomes a rat.
And once you come inside, it's a mouse.
Then what do you do with all the rats? Sewers.
It's outside. In the pipes. Or the tunnels.
Or in the tunnels, yeah. Realistically, it's in the tunnels. But they do fit through pipes. Rats get in the craziest places. So do mice. Whichever one they are.
Well, it depends if they're indoors or outdoors.
They still squeeze in. So the rat can squeeze into mysterious places and then become a mouse.
Yep.
Is what happens.
And the mouse can squeeze into bad places and become a rat.
Dude, I remember whenever we had the flood, however many years ago that was. 6 or 8. No.
It was 2010, 2011.
Yeah. I was living in Bismarck at the time. I drove here to visit some friends. And we saw the grossest rat running around on the street.
Yeah, because it's outside.
It was huge, dude. It was soaking wet, like it was a river rat. It was nasty.
Was it a muskrat?
It probably actually was a muskrat. It was big.
Was it 2.5 feet long?
Yeah, it was large.
It was a muskrat.
Yeah, it was disgusting. It was the most. We thought about hitting with our vehicle to kill it because it was such a miserable looking animal.
Oh, muskrats are an invasive species.
But then it was also that's gonna ruin my vehicle, stain my tire forever.
I could tell you a story about high school when a land developer paid us to kill some muskrats. But I don't know if it's something we want to get into today.
Maybe we'll put a hold on that story, and if the students are like, we want to hear the story, maybe we'll talk about it.
If the crowd wants it,
if the crowd wants it, I think we can go there as long as we keep it PG.
It has to do with, killing muskrats.
Killing muskrats.
But they are invasive.
Invasive?
Invasive species.
Yeah. I am a proponent of hunting.
Yeah.
For food purposes. And for
I don't think anyone's going to eat a muskrat.
That's a good point. I would never eat a muskrat. That's pretty gross. All right. Well, let's get to the main topic here today. So you are the offensive coordinator for the Hawk team. Who's your head coach?
So the head coach is Harvey McMahon. He teaches at Cheney Middle School. He's a special ed teacher. Good guy. Good experience coaching. Was a great football player. Played in college.
Nice.
Valley City State guy. Was a defense coordinator over at South for a couple of years before he came over to West Fargo. And I think we're really lucky to have him over here.
That's awesome.
The things that I've learned from him and that we've learned together, make me I'm a big advocate for the McMahon.
For the what?
For the McMahon.
What's that?
That's him, Harvey McMahon.
Oh, he's McMahon. Okay, that's his last name. I didn't get it. Nice, yeah. Dude, yeah, I talked to him a couple times. He seems pretty awesome. Seems like a pretty solid dude. He knows his stuff, which is good. And especially as a defensive coordinator. He's already got the experience and everything.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited to work with him all the time.
I got to talk to him about, I know a person who went to Valley City. I don't know how old he is. So
he's a couple of years older than me, so a couple of years younger than you.
So he probably played with Jake Shower.
Could be.
Jake Shower was
sweet name.
The quarterback for Valley City for a while. He was a quarterback in Wilson, too. Wilson High School. But he's 2 years. He's my brother, so he's 2 years younger than me. So they probably played together.
Yeah.
Where did he play at Valley
He
City?
was a defensive end at Valley City.
Dude, if I was ever playing defense, I'd want to be like, outside linebackers blitz more?
It depends on your scheme, but when you would see like a stand-up linebacker or like a DN, like those can be synonymous sometimes.
Yeah.
So it just depends on your scheme, but
Gotcha. I just want to be the person whose job is always to get the quarterback every play.
Yeah, basically. You want to be like a TJ Watt.
Yeah. Yes.
The better of the Watt brothers.
The better of the Watt brothers. JJ. JJ's washed. I don't think he's washed.
But I would pick TJ.
I would draft TJ and put him on my fantasy team if I had a defensive player.
That'd be sweet.
Really good. All right. So, obviously, first year. What's it like building a new program?
At first, so obviously, like, once I got the job, I was pretty excited. And then, like, it kind of dawned on me. It's like, oh, man, like, whatever we do is what happens. So, like, it was a lot of pressure at first to kind of, try to create some sort of culture or something that, like, you would be proud of. I grew up in the Twin Cities in a pretty competitive football town.
Hyper competitive,
yeah.
I would say, compared to North Dakota. No offense, North Dakota, but, like, Minnesota's pretty intense.
It is it's like a different experience. And I know that football has kind of come a long way since, when we were playing, even though that we're, not incredibly removed. But I wanted to take, like, the things that I know and I loved about football when I played in high school and then kind of pass up the things that I didn't like about it. And I had that opportunity, which was really cool, to create some sort of traditions and also have some input from the players and kind of figure out our identity together. I think this summer when we started summer camp, we had, like, maybe 11 come out.
Nice.
And we, just to make things work and schedule-wise, we even had a couple middle schoolers that went to our camp, and, like, it was awesome. And those are the things that people probably won't think about or see in the next, 2, 3, 4, 10 years down the road. They're not going to think about where we started at that Liberty practice field.
Yeah.
And they're not going to think how we bus every day to Horace Elementary and we play on their elementary field. But I'm happy these little grassroots, and I'm proud of where we started and what we're getting into. So,
dude, yeah, it seemed I'm obviously I have some of your students in the class, and it's fun talking to them about it. And they're super excited about being the first group, and realistically, it's such a unique thing being like you guys, as long as you want to stick with it, and obviously keep your grades up. So put in the work, friends. That's a big thing. As long as they do that, I mean, they're going to be here for. They're starting varsity basically the whole time. They're it. But they're always going to be the oldest and the ones who are the most experienced, which is such a cool thing.
Yeah, this is our crew, and we're really proud of our crew. And to create an identity and to kind of just live by that, the kids really bought in. Yeah. Like right away, like they knew what they needed to do, and they knew that it was going to be a different experience. Like you said, it's an opportunity that you don't see and everyone embraced it. And I think that's why we're close. We're a close, tight knit team.
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing chains at for a Cheyenne game. You guys played, or was that Cheyenne high school football field? Did you guys play?
Davies.
Yeah, Davies. Doing chains, and you guys had opportunities, and you did the best you probably could, and still came out with a loss in the end. But it was really cool to see the kids, even with a loss, like holding their head up high and like getting ready. Like, all right, let's deal with this, but we got to start thinking about the next thing, right? We got to get into that next mindset, which is, I think, it's super cool. And I think good coaching does that. Like, you deal with the loss, you talk about it, you figure it out, and obviously then you go watch film. Like, how many hours do you spend watching film?
A week?
A week, yeah. Let's go with a week.
It's a lot. I would say somewhere between, well, like last night we played a game.
Yep.
After the game, me and Coach went back and we watched the whole thing through and we talked about it.
Yep.
Then I went home and I watched it again.
Yep.
And then this morning, started cutting it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably about 3 hours in within the last 12 hours. And then I'll probably watch it a couple more times. And then, you go through and you mark your offensive plays, your defensive plays, your plays that you kicked, and you put your yards from scrimmage and your formations and your play types, and you run your analytics. And so I would say we're going to probably put about 10 hours in this week.
Nice.
And we got a game next Tuesday, so then it just kind of starts over.
When do you guys watch film, like as a team?
We try to watch film before a game, usually. It's kind of difficult actually to watch film this year with practicing off-site.
Yeah.
Because it just adds another layer of transportation.
Yep.
We'd have to travel somewhere either early or late, come back to the school. So I would say in the future we'd probably watch film maybe 1 or 2 times a week, preferably. But I think it's crucial. It's a big part of learning the game. When you watch yourself make great plays, like that's a lot of hype, and your teammates are there, like seeing you working hard. You work hard in practice, then you see it translate onto game film. That's awesome. And then the piece where you try to coach someone up, and maybe you made the wrong read on defense. Maybe you blocked the wrong person on a play. You see it, and now you get feedback, and you try to improve, and that's what we're here to do.
Nice. I didn't take sports nearly as seriously as I should have when I was in high school. And I should have played football, but I didn't. But I never even understood that watching film was like a thing. And it is such a beneficial thing. Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
See all the mistakes you made and all the plays that you make. It's like, okay, they did this. I should have done that, and I didn't. Now I can know for next time. Or if you have game film on them, right, on the opposing team beforehand, watching those games so that you can see their tendencies and their weaknesses and try to exploit them. It's such a big deal. Something I never thought of.
And that's something that occasionally, like this year, we've had game film on who we're playing.
Yeah.
So it's fun to watch, like, what kind of defense they run in, what are their tendencies on offense, and who's their big guys that we got to watch out for.
Yeah.
But at the 9th grade level, like that's gonna be probably the biggest adjustment moving forward, is that like we're gonna have a roster of the team we're playing next week, and you're gonna know who their quarterback's name is, and you're gonna know their size and speed and what their formations are, and like you're gonna have to pick up on some things. And we run those plays in offense now, like a scout team. So when we play Valley City next week, like we'll practice seeing what their formations look like. But we're just have to bring that to the next level. And that's gets to be a lot different.
Man, sounds like a lot of work. It is. All you people who are like, I play Madden, I can coach, I can just call this play. It's so much more than that, friends. It's way more. So.
I lost some sleep last night thinking about some play calls. Calling an offense is stressful.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I could show you my play sheet of like all the formations and just our running plays and stuff, and you never know what to run at the right time. Like, you know what you do well, and you know what you can do and what you want to do. But like if you watch football, if you watch the NFL, you'll hear a commentator be like, man, they should not have run that play. That was not a good look.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have ran it against that defense or whatever it may be. And that's what you have to think about all the time.
Mhm.
Is like, what if I would have called this play? What if I would have done this formation? Yeah. You gotta get down on yourself, but you just gotta keep going through it.
Yeah.
You gotta find out what works.
Yeah.
It's the fun part. It's a love-hate right
is.
there.
I mean, last weekend I was in Wisconsin playing flag football, and this was our first year having like a play sheet, right? We had to respond some plays, but even then it's like, man, they're playing really soft zone. Maybe we shouldn't keep running deep routes. Maybe we should just throw a 5-yard and get some yardage here.
Yeah.
That seems appropriate. And then you keep calling these routes, and it's just like, oh, come on. Maybe now we're all tired and everything. So, but I give it to a degree. I'm never going to put myself in your shoes because it's a lot different, especially in a high school game, for sure. In flag football, a pickup flag football game.
Yeah.
So, it's awesome. Well, props to you, man. So we were talking before we started this podcast here that it's a 9th grade team, but it feels to a degree like a varsity team right now. Right?
Yeah.
And it's only going to continue to feel like that. So can you explain kind of what you mean? Like it's kind of like a varsity style program even right now?
So, being in 9th grade and being housed at the middle school, it's a different feel right there.
Yeah.
So you kind of feel maybe like a senior would when you're walking through the halls and you're in 9th grade and you see a 6th grader. It's kind of like the same age gap, right?
Yeah, basically.
So our 9th graders kind of have that sense of responsibility to be role models. And then on top of that, it's our first year as a program. So we've got quite a bit of like acknowledgement from like the media, and we've had like WDAY come out and cover our game. And last night they streamed our game for everyone to watch. So they had commentators.
That's cool.
They had people doing a play-by-play, and I went home and I watched it, and it was cool. It's a cool feel, and I think the boys embraced it. And to us in the school, like this is our top level. And when we have the highs, people are surrounding us, and we have the lows. They do the same thing. They're here to pick us up, and regardless of if we're, keep hitting people hard, like everyone wants to be here for us. The community has treated us so well. Seeing the support from like all of our families, and they come to the games. We have team dinners. Like that's not things that 9th grade programs usually do.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's super awesome.
It's been really fun. It's been really good.
That's awesome. And I don't know, it gives you a lot of experience too for being, I don't know, because that's just how it's going to be for the rest of the time, basically. Play-by-play guys in a 9th grade football game. That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah.
That'd be a good.
Well, I think at West Fargo, isn't it Slocum? He does the...
Yeah, Slocum does it on the announcement, so maybe he's... Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So Slocum does a pretty good job.
He does, and that's cool. And that's such a cool feeling when you can hear people saying your name. When you make a tackle and someone says your name, or you score a touchdown, and that's cool.
It is.
That's fun.
It is. So you do mention the community. Like, what has it been like being a part of the Horace community here?
It's great. I always... being from the Twin Cities and not really understanding the Fargo-Moorhead area and watching it grow over the last 8 years living in town, all the movement is in West Fargo. And now it seems like all these housing developments and things are popping up in Horace. And Horace was ready for a high school. Yeah. They're ready. The town, I have goosebumps thinking about it. They're happy that we're here. Our parents, they're so supportive, and they're always ready to do anything that we need them to do, picking their kids up at practice, and just the little things that, where they need to be, they're there. We practice at the elementary school. We don't have a lot of storage. We have an outhouse, and a storage container that we keep all of our stuff in. And I can imagine in different communities, these things could be messed with and people will try to get into them or tip over porta potties or things like that. But not in Horace. they respect what we do. They respect our property, and they support us while they do it. So it's really fun, and I really am very happy to be out here in Horace. And you know, I want to move out here now. I want to have a little taste of the Horace culture, and I think it's something that me and my family are gonna really embrace.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Horace it's kind of just a unique little place here. I mean, I'm getting a little bit more enculturated with it and everything, just being here, but like, we're part of the biggest town or city, whatever you want to call it, in North Dakota, right? With Fargo, West Fargo, Horace, Moorhead, all that. But it was pretty isolated for a while. Now it's only now that West Fargo has kind of been encroaching on it, where it still has that small town feel, though, for sure. Yeah. And small towns, if I know anything about them, super tight knit communities. Have each other's back. That's great. That's awesome. That they support, your program the way that they do. So,
yeah, when you see the community members come out and come to our games, like sometimes we're playing at like the West Fargo Packers Stadium, like last night, and sometimes we're playing at the Liberty 8th grade field, and there's nowhere to stand, there's nowhere to sit. Like, they just make it work.
Yeah, they show up. It's true, they do show up, and it is such a big thing too. It's such a cool thing, because even when I've done, I know this year's a little bit of a unique year, obviously with COVID, so the players get basically like 2 tickets, and usually it's parents that are going to take those 2 tickets or whatever. But like, even being at I've done chains for West Fargo High, and it's still like, I think some of the parents show up, but it's still like, it just feels like a ghost town to a degree.
Yeah.
And that's a way, way bigger school, obviously. But here, but then being at even the Horace games, it's like, they showed up, and they came out to root and everything. Now we just got to get the staff get out and support those Hawks and all those activities. So, next question, though. What is your favorite part about coaching?
My favorite part about coaching is to, when you see your students all day, and you get to know your students as students, and you do your best to create a relationship with them. But when you get out on the football field, you're out of school. It's a different atmosphere. Yeah. They kind of shed some layers and show you are as a person. Yeah. And you get to know a player for like who they are. You get to know their family, what they're looking forward this weekend, what are their interests. You really just get to know someone a lot better. Yeah. And then you also get to like show them who you are as a person too. Yeah. I think all of my players know that I'm passionate about sports, and just very competitive. Just welcomed a new baby boy in the family.
Congrats.
Thank you. They know about, like, they've met my wife. They know about my dogs, and like, it's cool. It's cool to be that open with someone who you see a lot, and you're very like intertwined with each other's lives now. That's really cool.
That's awesome. Realistically, coaching and teaching different, but there are similarities, right? And that's my favorite part even about teaching. It's just, I'm very passionate about the content that I teach, for sure, but I love talking to students, even on the sidebars. And I know my students know, like, hey, we got to say one comment, and Mr. Knutsen's going to be off the rails. We're going to be down this rabbit trail for 10 minutes, and that's always been a Achilles heel of mine. But I still love those conversations, because you just get to know so much more about the students, and they get to know about you. And I gotta imagine it's the same in coaching, probably even more so, because it's just a different environment, different atmosphere. Right.
Yeah. Once you get them out of the building, you get to that next level. And not saying that you can't do that in the classroom, because there's we got 19, 20 guys on the football team, and I have 100 and some students. Yeah. And I want to say that I know all my students really well, and they know me pretty well. But when you're with someone, 10, 15 hours a week, like, we have football practice every day for a couple hours. So that's at least 10 hours a week. Yeah. And then you see them all day at school. Proximity is a big deal.
It is, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think the goal of all the teachers is to get to know students well, but it is true. It is a numbers game. When you have 100, there's just only so much depth that you're ever going to get to with that, because you have so many kids that you're talking with on a daily basis, and whatever the case is. But then when you get that extra layer of we get to coach and we get to be on the field, and then you just get more time with them. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
One reason why I want to be a coach someday. Well, I guess technically I am a coach. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. What are you most excited about regarding the future?
You mean football related?
Yeah, football related. Yep.
I think.
I mean, obviously you're excited about moving up to Horace at some point.
Yeah.
In the future.
In the future.
Yeah. But yeah. About football.
I think that our first home game, when we have our turf and we have our stands, and which could be next fall, hopefully. Hope everything goes well.
Contractors.
I think that that's something that you kind of dream about. You dream about that first game under the lights. You're like a big time program now, JV schedule type, and you put in all the nuts and bolts the previous year, and then now coming out, it's kind of established. We took an entire year to establish it. The kids are bought in. They're playing hard. When we come out under the lights and we're on our turf and it says Horace Hawks on it, like that's what I dream about. That's what I think about before I go to bed every night.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for that day too. It's gonna be so sweet. I can't wait to run chains.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I want to see some tractors there. I want to see a couple 4-wheelers in the parking lot.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have Big Irvs out here, and they'll be slinging hot dogs.
Nice.
And it'll be cool. Let's get the community involved.
With Big Irvs?
No, but I shout out to Big Irvs.
Hey, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Maybe you can be a sponsor if you want. Hey.
So
you're the pop that you deserve.
Yeah.
I just wish you'd stop charging for fries.
We can talk about that all day.
We can. Their fries are good too, but I might have to just try their chips and see, because if the chips are fine, then I just won't buy fries anymore.
Upcharge on fries?
Food's good. I do like the food. But yeah, not a sponsor. You can become a sponsor. We'll give you all the hot dogs you need to bake and cook or whatever you do with hot dogs. We don't bake hot dogs. That'd be weird.
Let's boil them in water.
Let's boil them in water. Grill them.
There we go.
Do it. And sell them to everybody else. Make a profit.
Yeah. I think that, the community is going to be there for that first game, and they're going to, show us that the black and gold is something that we can all be proud of.
Dude, I love our colors.
Yeah.
I was so pumped when I found out what colors they were going to be. And I'm a Purdue person personally. I love Purdue. And
go Boilermakers.
We're not like exactly Purdue, but I was like, I love it. It's going to be great.
Well, you look so good when you wear a black Hawks polo and some khaki pants. That's such a good look.
It is. That's what we go for. All of our teachers. That's what we do. Just put on the threads. Look real nice. All right. Well, okay. Discuss football. Super pumped about the future of football. I know a lot of the teachers here are. Obviously, the kids are. We got an 8th grade program started this year too, 7th and 8th grade program. So we got people training, now getting ready and all that stuff. So I'm excited about the future. It should be a lot of fun. But let's talk about this next activity that you and I are coaching, co-coaching, something like that. This esports stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And hopefully, we'll get started pretty soon. I got the roster now finally, so we'll get it going here next week for sure. Maybe this week I might have a meeting. We'll see if I feel ambitious and I talk to the 3 people.
It's already Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Slow down, Tiger.
Yeah, slow down. So yeah, but I got the roster now. So I got our guys. Got 3 dudes for now. Girls are also welcome to come out if they want.
Yeah.
And obviously, when football is over, maybe some of those people might. I don't know. Who knows? They might have other activities that they want to join too. So we might end up having more than 3. But right now, are you excited that schools are offering esports?
I think it's super cool. There's a lot of potential for like scholarships, and there's a lot of money in esports. And I think that now that people recognize that, there isn't such a stigma about it. A lot of our students go home and play video games. Like that's a fact.
It's absolutely true.
And you shouldn't feel bad about that. You should, when you're passionate about something, you should be confident in it. Yes. So it's cool.
Yeah. I try to coach them in some responsibility. Okay, schoolwork does come first. Get that done. But if everything's done and what you do is video games, do video games.
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up in a little bit of a different era where or especially when I'm a little bit older than you, so when I was growing up, like, playing video games was, like, frowned upon.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
You're wasting your time.
Yep.
You're going to be a basement dweller your whole life. And maybe that is for some people, but I would say it's not everybody by any means, right? I'm not a basement dweller. I have my own house. I got a family. I'm a teacher, relatively successful, and I still love playing video games even to this day. They're so much fun. And now that there's this whole idea of esports, and a lot of people, I think, even still think it's kind of a joke, but I think it's getting more love than it has in the past. But the money in it is unbelievable. Now, it's not easy, just like any sport type here. And I'm not going to compare football with esports, right? Like athletes and athletes. That's not even a comparison. It's not even worth talking about. But, like, the money is still there, right? One of the games that we play, or that we're going to offer, and we're hopefully going to play in our program, is League of Legends. And League of Legends has been around for 10 years.
10 years,
yeah. Something like that. And, I mean, it's easily been the biggest payouts of any game in the history of gaming, really. I mean, the world tournaments have always paid out like millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. And that's just for winning a tournament. That's not sponsors.
Yep.
That's not the gear you get. Like, that's just cash prize.
Yeah. Like, and you look at some of these, like, we'll talk about professional gamers here for a second, and then we might talk about some streamers. But, like, professional gamers, like, those PCs, well, what they use at a tournament are different, right? Those all have to be the same spec and everything for fairness. But, like, when those people go home, like, how much do you think one of those PCs costs? And their equipment?
It costs more than your car.
Yeah. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, easily $20,000.
Yep.
If not more. Right?
And that's their PC.
Yeah.
They also have their mic set up. They have all their peripherals. They have their gaming chairs. They have their soundproof rooms. They have. It's insane.
It is. It's super cool though. I love it. I think it's awesome that the money's there now, that you can make that a profession or a career realistically.
Yep.
Right. It's the way that we are moving. Like, I can't remember a few years ago when Colin Cowherd talked about it. They put StarCraft 2 on ESPN2. Right. I think it was one. I don't know if it was the national tournament or a world tournament. I think it was a national tournament for the United States, and they put Colin Cowherd on it, and he was furious.
Yeah.
What is this video game stuff? And he left ESPN because of it. He's like, I'm never doing anything like that again. Like, you brought video games on ESPN, I'm done. Like, and he left. But it's like, man, the money is there, and it's still growing, and it's only getting bigger from here on out. It's only going to get bigger. You know.
You gotta see it as it is. It's the times change, and you have to stay with the times. If you're gonna stay narrow-minded, you're gonna get passed up.
Yeah, and that's what happened. He left ESPN, and I know he's got to deal with Fox and stuff, but I know he's not doing news because he used to, anyways, for sure. And it's just, you got it. The times do change, and it is a different time now. You know, I'm super excited about coaching esports. We get to coach Rocket League and League of Legends are the two games that we get to deal with, and I'm excited to learn the strategy for League of Legends. I played League of Legends like 8-9 years ago, something like that. It was a long time ago, so when it was very new. So got to brush up on some of that strategy. I got to put the work in. Got to put the prep time in. That's what coaches got to do. So I got to do some of that, and then hopefully once football ends, you can bring your expertise, because I know you play a lot or have played
quite a bit.
Yes.
It's just one vice or another. When you spend 12 hours a week watching film, now you're going to spend 12 hours a week, watching gameplay and, making sure that League of Legends is going to be there for you.
Yeah, for sure. And Rocket League, the way that I view Rocket League, I got to change my mindset, because right now I just view it as it's just a fun time. But there is actual strategy to it, and if we want to compete as a team, right now with 3, that's how Rocket League competitions, or at least tournaments, are 3v3. Right? There's got to be strategy, and I do want to win. Like, I don't want to just go and like, hey, have fun. Like, fun is an important part, but I also want to win these tournaments if we can.
Yeah,
for sure. So, but
playing video games is fun, but winning is more fun.
It is also more fun. Yeah, even when I'm playing at home, just randomly, like if I'm just playing some pub matches on Call of Duty or whatever. I always get upset with my teammates when all they go for is kills, and they're not playing like objectives or whatever, like domination, flag capture. It's like, yeah, I want to get all the kills too, to like rank up my gun and get the camos that I want. But it's like, but ultimately I want the W. I still want the win. I don't want to lose. Like, it's no fun then. It's like, oh great, I had 60 kills, but I didn't help my team do anything, so we still lost. Like, that's dumb.
Play team deathmatch.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I tell my teammates too. Why don't you go play TDM? If you just want to get those kills to rank up your gun, go play TDM.
Yeah.
Boo. But we won't be doing any of that or Call of Duty or Rainbow Six Siege. I know some of the students want that, but as a school event, we can't do that. So we're gonna stick with League, which and Rocket League and League of Legends. I think, man, that is just playing games that are similar to that. As far as video game experiences go, like, there is nothing like winning a match of like League of Legends, especially one that they're like brawling out for 40 minutes. If that's what that match is going to take.
Well, it's a time investment. You know, when you spend 40 minutes for a game, like, you're invested in it, and for that 40 minutes, like, you're trying to do everything you can right to win a game. And there's a lot of strategy in League of Legends. Yeah,
League, the strategy is
when you have 5 it's you and 4 teammates.
Yes,
there's 5 people on the map, and then you're playing against 5, and each person has such a specific role.
Yeah,
and when you talk about team fights and engagements, and if you're out of position, like, you're gonna lose a team fight, and you're gonna lose the game.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of responsibility, and I think sometimes we forget that translation. When you take video games and then you translate it to like the IRL, in real life. Like, you have a responsibility in the game, and you have a responsibility in real life, and you learn teamwork and strategies in a game, and you translate that outside into real life.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. That's how can you take it? It doesn't matter if it's football, volleyball, band, esports. You got to make that connection from one thing to the next, and that's a big part of it.
I mean, even esports, football, I think the big reason why activities in general are so important is because of that idea of competition mode too. Right? Like, I think we've lost that to a degree, even as a society, where we just don't deal well with competition because it's confrontational, right?
Yeah.
Being better or losing, right? Winning and losing. Like, that losing doesn't feel good, right? It never feels good. But, like, what can you do to make it so that you don't lose the next time, so you don't have to feel that again? How do you get better? How do you become a better person?
Yeah.
Right? You become a better athlete. You become a better esports player. You become just a better person in general, right? Like, I fail in teaching even. Like, when I'm, like, coming up with a lesson and I'm like, oh, this lesson's going to be a bomb. Like, kids are going to love it. And then I come in here and it's just crickets. Right? It's just like, oh, boy, like, that didn't go well. Like, how do I change now? Right?
Yeah.
And I compete against myself is essentially in that case, right? And become a better teacher. But, like, the idea of competition, I feel it feels lost, and we need it back. And right now, I feel that the bastion for competition is extracurricular activities right now.
Yeah. So, well, I think most people know that I'm a pretty competitive person.
Yeah, you are.
Whether it's playing badminton in the gym versus students for extra credit points, or coaching, or whatever it may be, I like to compete, and I think life's a game, and it's the longest game you're ever gonna play, and you might as well get good at it.
Yeah,
so
you might as well get better at it. For sure.
Get good.
Man, those are good words to end on right there. Life's a game. Get better at it. For sure. Well, thank you for being on the inaugural episode of the Hawkcast. Really enjoyed having you. Had a good chat. Figured out that a door is not a door when it's a jar. I'm bad at riddles. That's what we also found out today.
No, I appreciate you having me. I'd love to come back on the show.
Well, we'll have you as a regular guest, I'm sure. So, all right, friends. That does it for this episode of the Hawkcast. Enjoy your weekend and make sure you make it a good day.
Go Hawks.